Hey everybody, Dan McCleskey here. Had a really cool experience with something last week, and I thought I would talk to y'all about it. It's really neat. I wrote in my book regarding crystals and different things here that I didn't really feel were too powerful here on Earth, and came across something that changed my mind on that almost completely. So, Moldavite. Moldavite is a very interesting, not necessarily a crystal, but it falls more almost into the glass family. And this is a piece I picked up recently here, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about it because this is really cool. I was at a rock and fossil show here in Denver, Colorado, and I came across this. And it was a while back. My mom actually told me a little bit about this, and she hates the stuff. She said that she just can't be around it. And hearing that, I thought it was pretty interesting, but never experiencing it myself. I really didn't put too much stock into that. Love you, Mom. But so anyway, I picked it up, and I was talking to the gentleman that was selling the stones in this area and crystals and all that sort of thing. And I was holding it, and I was sitting there holding it. And my wrist actually started to become a little numb, and I looked at him and I'm like, okay, this is a little odd. And then as I was holding it, it started feeling like when you drink a lot of caffeine. And I try to stay away from caffeine as much as possible, just don't need it. But that anxiety feeling, you can feel it in your stomach kind of tighten up a little bit, and it was just really odd. And I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, wow, to hold what looks like a piece of glass, stone, crystal type of thing here, and have that feeling is just odd. So I purchased it right away. I had to play with this thing. And so as we're leaving the rock and mineral show, or rock and fossil show, I handed it to my wife, which she's not, doesn't think that anything like this could exist, or very open to the spirit world. But anyway, I handed it to her. She put it in her palm, and she held it, and she gave me this really strange look, and she handed it back, and she goes, it felt like it was being pulled into my hand. And I was just like, wow, just for me to have the experience and feel that, and then for her to feel that, just kind of validated my thoughts about it, because she didn't know what it was or the history of it, which we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But anyway, so we got into the vehicle, and we were driving to just run a couple errands, and then on the way home, and we both just started feeling lightheaded, anxious, just kind of a weird off feeling, not really like a great feeling by any means, just more of an off feeling. You can't think straight. Words that just don't come to you quite as quickly. And we got back to the house, and she just looked at me and she goes, I don't want that rock in the house. So I went and I put it out in the garage, and I kept thinking about it. So I slept that night in the room with the rock out in the garage. And the next day, I am one that needs to figure this thing out. I'm not afraid of it, but I want to know more about it. So I went and grabbed it. I put it in my pocket throughout the day. My experience throughout the day was, I could feel it too. I was exhausted. It really kind of drained my energy. And I could feel it. So I still am a little disoriented in my head, all that sort of thing. And to me, that's kind of exciting. It's like, okay, something in this thing is making me feel that way, which is just strange to me. So that makes me want to experiment more with it. So I went ahead and I grabbed it the following day, had it all day with me. That night, I wanted to sleep next to it. I wanted to see if there was anything more that would come out of it. I've had a lot of lucid dreams and out-of-body experiences and that sort of thing. So I'm just curious if this would do anything with it. So sleeping with this thing is very difficult. Not because it's got sharp, jagged edges, which of course wouldn't be comfortable sleeping with, but the fact that it puts out a really crazy energy. So my wife was unaware that I had it with me. When I finally was able to fall asleep, I had really intense dreams. The dreams, I'm not going to get in too far. I wish I would have wrote them down, but it really felt like I was able to jump out of my body and jump from place to place, and it was a weird dream. Now, I wouldn't call it an out-of-body experience. It felt more like a dream, but it was pretty intense. My wife tossed and turned all night that night. Next day, same thing. I carried around with me all day long. That night, went to sleep with it again, and it was probably about 1 or 2 in the morning. She's like, I cannot sleep. She's like, do you have that rock with you? And I didn't want to say anything because I was just kind of in experiment mode. I wanted to see, what this thing was doing. And so I just really didn't answer, and I just kind of rolled over and acted like I was sleeping. But basically, I'm sorry, sweetie. She had 2 nights of sleepless nights there because of this rock. And so just last night, I told her what happened, and I admitted to her that, yes, I did have the rock with me. After she punched me in the shoulder, which I deserved, she said, you better get that out of my room when I'm sleeping. So I have done that. But my goal with this thing now is to have it with me all the time. I mean, yeah, it's messing with my head a little bit. I could feel it. I'm tired, but I'm looking at it like something I could overcome. If I can spend enough time with this thing and figure it out, I think it will be beneficial. I'll be able to speak more to it and be able to tell you guys more about it as well. But right now, this thing, I would say, is a very, very powerful rock. I have no other way to explain it. But so from what I understand, this is found in one part of the world, and I'll have to put some more information at the bottom of the screen about where it's found. But basically, it came, I believe, from an asteroid coming in into the Earth's atmosphere. Got extremely hot, became a molten type of situation, hit the Earth. The Earth got thrown way up into the atmosphere, mixed with this asteroid that hit the Earth, and then came raining back down, basically in these forms. Obviously, there's a lot of different shapes and sizes and that sort of thing, and hit the ground, and that's where it came from. So the gentleman that was selling it to me told me all about it, and the color as well is something. It's a greenish, light green, see-through, looks like glass type of color. And it created that color when it was falling back to Earth and cooling. And from what I understand, it's the only thing that you could find that's natural this way in this color, which is really neat. So anyway, I'm going to keep everybody updated on this. But Moldavite, very interesting. I just started doing some research on it yesterday, and there's some pretty crazy videos out there. And I don't know. I don't see, again, I don't believe in good and bad of things. I just think it's interesting. It's very interesting, and it definitely has some power to it. So I'm going to experiment with it more, and I'm going to spend a lot of time with it, and I'm going to come back and explain a little bit more to you guys as well. One of the things I did hear while researching is that a lot of folks were saying that it speeds up what you're trying to do in life. So if you have things that you're working on or working through, or if you have some self-doubts, or if you have this or that, it brings it to the forefront and it pushes you through it. I can't tell you that. That's what I heard online. I have no idea. All I know is that it makes you feel weird. It makes you feel tired so far. And those folks that don't believe in this type of thing, I don't know if all of them. One of my daughters could feel it. One of my other daughters could not. So I don't know if everybody gets the same feeling out of it. But I'm going to do a little bit more research on it, and I will get back with you guys. If you're not afraid of things, if you understand, I guess on the spiritual sense of life, if you are in tune with that, I would probably at this point recommend go out and get one and start playing with it, because these things are amazing. If you don't know much, or I don't want to say much, if you're not into it as much, that sort of thing, I'd say probably steer clear until you hear more about it. I wasn't able to find a ton about it. There was things out there, but not enough. So again, if you feel like you're more into it and want to experiment with it, do. Just know, don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of, but definitely fun. So anyway, hope you all have a great day, and I'll let you know more as soon as I find out more. Take care.